Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Leclerc. I'm a project agent for Restigouche CBDC. I work on the initiative called Leading Lenders, and I'm proud to welcome you today to our second panel discussion. You may know that women entrepreneurs face different barriers when they're pursuing business financing. Today, we bring together lenders and women entrepreneurs to crack open the conversation and discuss fostering relationships between lenders and women entrepreneurs. Leading Lenders is delivered by the Restigouche Community Business Development Corporation, in other words, Restigouche CBDC, and it is delivered through the project funded provided by the federal government's Women Entrepreneurship Strategy under the West Ecosystem Fund, and it is administered by the Atlantic Canada Opportunity Agency, a co-op. Before we begin the panel discussion, we would like to acknowledge that members of the Leading Lenders team all live, work, and play on the traditional unceded territories of Mi'kmaq First Nation of Gaspégoagé, located in the Peace of Friendship Treaty region of what is now known as Northern New Brunswick and Eastern Quebec. It is now time to crack open the conversation and begin the panel discussion. Let's meet and welcome all of our panelists. And we'll be starting with Tina Dickerson of CBDC Central PEI.
My name is Tina Dickerson, and I'm the Executive Director of CBDC Central PEI. CBDC stands for Community Business Development Corporations, and there are 41 in Atlantic Canada that operate as an association. However, we're each independently run by local volunteer boards who help guide our investment decisions. We're passionate about the community. Our mandate is to sustain rural communities through private investment, and we do this through three key pieces. The first piece is lending. So we do what's called non-traditional character lending, and that often falls into the small business space. So assisting new businesses often when they can't access traditional finance supports, and secondly, expansions and modernizations. In these cases, often we partner with traditional lenders when they reach their lending limits. We come in and help them do the loans. So that's the financing piece. The second piece of all CBDCs is we do business counseling, which means it's free. Our clients can call us with questions. They can call us for anything they need. If we can't help them, we'll help guide them to where they can go. So that's a key piece. And finally, we do business skills training. So this can take the form of one-on-one. Our most popular subjects are financial management and marketing, but they can be many different things. And we also do group training, so to cover topics. So our underlying mission is to support the entrepreneur through every step of their journey to help them succeed.
So hello, my name is Shauna Perry. I am the owner of Little Black Dress Boutique. Little Black Dress Boutique is a high-end women's consignment store located in Summerside, Prince Edward Island. Though we are now in the process of branching out and opening our second location in Charlottetown next month, which is super exciting. So Little Black Dress, we obviously are working with environmental reasons. We love sustainability clothing and eco-friendly. So we bring in used items in our store and resell those items at a good value, at a good cost to customers. And in doing so, we do keep those textiles out of landfill, but also we allow opportunity for locals in the community to gain a little extra cash. And we also pride ourselves at Little Black Dress on like body positivity and inclusion. We try our best to promote different fashion shows and different events within our store to show that we have products in our store for different body shapes, sizes, all genders, all age, all race. And we really try and advocate that as much as possible.
My name is Banik Shia. I'm the owner of ALSFI, stand for Alternative Legal Service Firm, Inc. So we are legal agents. In other words, we are paralegal providers. So we do representation as legal agents before the Alberta Provincial Court, the Alberta Worker Compensation Board, and the Alberta Human Rights Commission. Yeah, so we are located in Moncton, Alberta, on 118 Avenue and 84th Street.
Wes Ladisser, Vice President, Southern Ontario with the business banking team, the Desjardins Ontario Credit Union. Desjardins is a leading financial co-op or credit union, if you will, providing financial services for its members and clients all throughout Canada. More specifically, my team consists of commercial account managers and small business advisors with a focus on commercial lending and advisory services.
Hi there, my name is Leanne McLean, and I work with the BDC as a senior account manager in our small business finance. So BDC is the Business Development Bank of Canada, and our role is to support entrepreneurs through flexible financing solutions and through advisory so that we can help to have our entrepreneurs succeed and have some support while doing so.
So now we're ready for our first question. What defines a good working relationship between a lender and a woman entrepreneur? Who would like to start us off on this?
I think what was important for me, especially in the beginning, whenever I was just in the opening phases of opening a business and I needed that finance, the most important thing for me was being taken seriously. And I know that seems like a very small thing to say, but I'm somebody who, I'm a younger woman and I'm always kind of dolled up, like short dresses, high heels, red lipstick. It's just how I am every day. And I really felt like I went into multiple financial institutions and was kind of looked at like I probably didn't know what a financial statement looked like, let alone understand one. And I felt like I wasn't really taken seriously a lot of places I went. So that's really important for me. Wherever I ended up going was making sure that there was that respect coming from the lender and being treated as an equal and being treated like I was an educated businesswoman and not just a woman who might not have understood finances. There was a lot of times where it was almost assumed before lenders would even talk to me that, well, my husband probably took care of the finances. And it was like people were dumbing things down for me because they just expected I might not have understood things. But yeah, that's big for me, is just being respected and treating like an equal, even though I'm a female entrepreneur.
Can I say something?
Sure, you can add.
I want to join her because what she mentioned is very important. Because we are entrepreneurs, so I think we need to respect entrepreneur. Whatever idea of business, is not easy to have an idea and start something. It's a lot of courage, right? So just for the idea, whatever idea it is, need to be respected. And I think she's right, because sometimes when you have an idea and you are like, okay, I have this idea, I have to put it together, but you need finance. And you're like, okay, let me approach this bank. Maybe they're going to help me. But the bank you approach they're like, okay, your idea is disrespected because they feel like, it's not you feel disrespected by your idea because the bank disrespected what you think about what you want to do, right? And just for that, it's a problem. It's a problem when nobody consider your idea as a business.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm joining her, she's right.
If I may, that is a big part of why the CBDCs are here and part of our creation and BDC, but I'll speak to us, is that we very much do a one-on-one approach. No idea. Every idea is treated with respect, whoever comes in the door. And some people may not know finances. We don't make that assumption. We ask, we provide them with the tools. We're there to support, but we don't make those assumptions. And we assist where the capability isn't there. But that could be anybody. It's certainly not gender-based. But again, it's not an assumption. We'll ask, are you familiar with this? No? Okay. Yes, great, right? And move. And so that's where we come in is our idea with CBDC. Now, of course, COVID has disrupted some of our regular activities, but when a client wants to talk about something, we like to bring them in here talk with them. And even if we can't help them, they're not ready to start a business, we want them to leave with a smile on their face, feeling good, knowing where the resources are that they can go see and go help, and just leave with a smile, feeling good and feeling better.
If I can add, I agree with what everyone has said so far. It's something I push among my team. You know, let's not just provide loans or a credit facility. Be there to provide advice, share the information that we have at our disposal. You know, I think about where Desjardins can add value, and it's really with our partnerships that we've created. So you know, my account managers have created partnership with certain accounting firms, certain lawyers. Make sure that you're introducing the entrepreneur to these professionals, so that they can have the proper advice. As a banker, we don't necessarily just have knowledge on loans, but we also have a bunch of COIs that we can introduce the entrepreneur to, and I think that's really important. Now, from a lender side, I think I push four things on my account managers for all entrepreneurs. It's be responsive, return calls, return emails, be engaged when you're with the entrepreneur. This is someone's idea. This is a business model, or this is a business idea. The passion that the entrepreneur has, us as the lender, we have to have that same passion. And don't be afraid to challenge the entrepreneur either, because we may ask questions that spike other questions, or, you know, other elements that the entrepreneur has not thought of yet. And also set timelines, expectations. I think that's key. So if you say you're going to get back to them on Monday, get back to them on Monday. Entrepreneurs are busy. There's a lot of things going on in their day to day. And then also transparency. Be transparent with the entrepreneur. They don't want to hear yes if you already know the answer is no. So those are some of the elements that I work on with my team.
Okay, great.
It's always the the part where you're the last one and you feel like you're saying everything that people have already said.
We'll let you be the first one on the next question.
Okay. So very similar to what everybody else has been, you know, discussing. I know particularly like how I guess break it down as meeting the entrepreneur where they are, and that's non-gender based. That's you know, we don't want anybody to feel the way that you felt when you went in and you felt like nobody was taking you seriously, or you felt like they didn't think you understood finances. And much like Tina said as well, you know, understanding where the client is. If they do understand finances, great. Well, that, you know, changes the way that we have a conversation. If they don't understand the financial piece of it, then helping them to understand that and providing them with the support they need through places like CBDC, where they can get some extra assistance with that. For me, I work much the same with my women entrepreneurs as I would with male entrepreneurs. Very open conversation, making sure that there's transparency, having an understanding of what they're doing, and having a very in-depth conversation about the details of their business plan, whether it's a new business or a current business, and sort of what they're looking for. And I think with women in particular, I know for us at BDC, there was a study done that specifically indicated that women entrepreneurs tend to be a little less risk adverse. So helping them to feel comfortable with taking risks that are calculated and that make sense for their business, making sure that if they're applying for credit, that they are applying for enough, so that they can meet the needs that they have, so that their business can grow and scale, and just helping them to feel comfortable and confident making that decision, wherever they are, with understanding the full outlook of that. And I think for me, I guess if I'm really trying to look at what do I do differently with women entrepreneurs, it would be connecting them with the network, much like Wes said. So I'm big on women entrepreneur networks in general. And if there's an opportunity for me to introduce them to other women entrepreneurs that are either someone that they could meet from, you know, a beneficial business relationship, or somebody that they could just connect with as another woman entrepreneur who's trying to balance a lot of things in life, I think that makes a big difference in having that support network and being successful.
If I may, I would just like to add on what Leanne touched on with the differences between when you have a woman-led, it could be a partnership, 2 women or 1 woman, versus, I would say, a Canadian-born businessman, not necessarily a newcomer. A huge difference is women do those smaller, more measured asks. One way you could see it as risk adverse, you could also see it as excellent risk management. So they do smaller, more measured asks, and they come back and ask for more, and we're more than happy to help them come back and ask for more. And it's been really exceptional during COVID, as we've had businesses that are in retail or hospitality that have grown because they started in the smaller steps instead of the one great big operating shop. So there's that. Whereas with Canadian-born men, what we do see is they'll come in at a much higher level. So requiring often significant capital investment for, say, machinery. It could be a warehouse, but they're ready to start all the way. So instead of the measured jumps, ready to go all in. But here is the huge difference that I see, and it's an absolute gap, is what we see through our lending is almost every time these Canadian-born men that are coming in and doing those big asks, they have a mentor. Often it's somebody in the industry. It could be a former employer that says, you should be doing this in your area. I'm doing this in my area. I can help you. I will guide you. I will help you do your business plan. You can call me anytime. It could be private investment saying, I'll support you and I'm here to support you financially. So giving them access to credit in a different way on top of what we're doing with them. Or it could be family related or friends. We almost never see a woman come in, whether it's a business partner, with somebody already under their wing saying, I'll take you, I've done this business, I've done this, I will mentor you, you can call me, I'll tell you who the suppliers are, I'll tell you how to get in. And I think that's a huge thing. And it's just back to Leanne and everyone here, is that's why when women come in, our focus is getting them connected. So I immediately start recommending join here in PEI, it's PEI Business Women's Association. I immediately start trying to connect them with people so they don't feel alone, so they can ask, and let them know they can call me too at any time.
And I actually just very quickly add on to that. I know that we said that we are supposed to keep things confidential, but if I had a very good relationship with somebody in this panel, can I briefly touch on that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, if it's somebody on this panel, that's fine, just not
Okay.
anybody outside of this conversation.
After I did hear no from multiple financial institutions, I actually did get a really great working relationship with Tina at CBDC Central PEI. And just when she was saying like risk adverse, I am that, because I've been with CBDC now for, I think, 2 years, or maybe just short of 2 years. And I think every 6 months I've gone back and asked for a little bit more, rather than take that huge lump sum in the beginning. I kind of took smaller risks. And then in a few months, when I thought, okay, maybe I can expand and do a little more, I went back and asked for a little bit more. And I think I've done that 4 times now in 2 years. But that is what I really, really like about CBDC, is that they are like with me the whole way. It's not just they were with me in the beginning and now I'm kind of left on my own. They're constantly checking in, and they'll, like, Tina and other people on her team are literally making visits to my store and just seeing how we're doing and shopping. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to add that I am that person who doesn't do the big risk in the beginning, and just, I know that I'm at any point, if I need a little bit more, I'm comfortable connecting with CBDC and knowing that they'll help me through that.
Okay.
There's your commercial, Tina.
For me?
So there's your next commercial.
Yeah. I think we have used her as a client.
That was a great glowing review.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, we can move on to the second question. And I like the fact that COVID was mentioned because I think it's getting part of the new way of doing business. There's much more virtual methods of communication. So our question is, with this aspect growing, okay, the method of communication continuing to grow virtually, how has this impacted the relationships between women lenders, women entrepreneurs and lenders?
I can go.
So,
Yeah, Leanne, your turn to go first.
Sure. So I think there's positives and negatives to both sides of it. One is that with the virtual meetings, I mean, look at what we're doing right now. We're all in completely different areas and we're able to accomplish something like this fairly efficiently. But I think it's great because from a time management perspective, all entrepreneurs are able to book meetings without having to worry about commute time, without having to worry about where they have to meet and sort of the logistics of it. And in particular for women entrepreneurs, speaking from the point of view of being a mother of small children, and a lot of entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs are, it helps with the ability to sort of balance life as an entrepreneur and life as a parent. So I think that those are the positives of it. The negatives is that we get that disconnect of regular human contact. And I think that everybody would be probably in agreement that, that can be difficult for most people. And in particular, again, going back to women entrepreneurs, I couldn't agree with Tina more on them, again, needing that network and needing that support and mentorship and buddy system, however you want to look at it. And having that is still something that can be accomplished through the virtual space, but it just doesn't seem to be quite as impactful as those true one-on-one meetings where people can get together and have, those physical interactions.
Yeah, and I will say I particularly miss them. We will go, I will go many times. I will go to a client's house if they're comfortable. So if they're a mom, I'll accommodate that and I'll bring all my stuff and I'll go to them where they are and have that meeting, because I find there's just a better connection. There's more, you just get to know each other
Completely
better.
Different.
Yeah, it's different. There is definitely the time management, and we do, absolutely we'll do virtual calls, but there is that connectivity lacking. And I know even for me as somebody who has to build that network so that I can help my clients, there has been a disconnect. You can do virtual things, but when you're in a room with people and you get female entrepreneurs in a room together, they make connections, they make possible, suppliers, they make all sorts of good things. Side conversations that you don't get virtually, I guess. Yeah. So there's pros, but there's a lot of cons too.
And I think even like we've tried hosting women entrepreneur events virtually. And I'm also part of CREW Nova Scotia, which is Commercial Real Estate Women's Network. We've tried to do virtual events, and we're finding that the attendance at those things is low because people are what do we call it, like zoomed out, right? They want the physical interactions. They're getting tired of this, and there is definitely that flexibility in it, and it's certainly convenient at times. And it's pouring rain out here today, so it's great to not have to be traveling out, but there's a lacking piece there that I'm really looking forward to having back again.
So I have to add something because I will talk on my experience, right? So I needed a loan a few months ago, and I reached out to that bank, and everything was online. So I had to apply on, but I did a mistake on, I don't know what happened. And I wasn't able to finish, like the process was not able to be done because of the mistake I did. So they told me to wait until everything's open. So it's a problem because if you have to wait until everything is open, you don't know when, right? So I was like, is there no another option? Like, I can't just wait like that. They say there's no option. I just have to wait until the offices are open. So it's a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to add.
Yeah, and just to add on that, I mean, if we were allowed to be out and about, which things are changing now, which is great. I agree with what everyone has said. You know, from an availability standpoint, it might have been a good thing. We might have been more available because we weren't traveling or we weren't going to visit clients out and about like we were. But you know, situations like that, you know, were happening more and more because everything was switched to online and quickly was done so within a few weeks. And it was, you know, everybody has to adapt. And it was like, you got to adapt now or, you know, you're going to miss the boat. And that element, you know, I looked at it like there was really, like Leanne mentioned, there was positives and there was negatives. And the positives was I found that we were more available because we were in front of our laptops. The negative outweighed that, in my opinion. We were missing the boat on really connecting with the entrepreneur. I learned more from visiting someone's business in 5 minutes than I can learn in 2 hours virtually. I can't see their product. I can't see their processes. I need to see that. I'm visual, and I think most people that we hire we hire for relationships are visual people. They love being in the entrepreneur's place of business, not in front of their screen. So definitely the negatives outweighed the positives. And when I'm thinking of these positives, it was just more, you know, you're available because you're in front of your laptop. And I don't think that's good enough. So I'm glad things are starting to open up. You know, in Ontario, where March 1st is a big change for us. So we'll be more out and about, and I'm pushing that on my team. You got to get out. You got to be an entrepreneur.
I just like to add, for me personally, I'm in this is a love. This is my dream job. This is my passion, living in the rural community, helping. I moved back after 25 years away, and I'm on the same road. And I never would have thought that would happen, but I'm in the community I was raised in, helping people. And nothing drives me more than seeing someone succeed. For what that means for them. I'm not talking about, you know, becoming a I'm just saying what it means for them. If they want to create, Shauna's case, a store, she has kids and do that balance. Perfect, great. That makes me so happy. That's what I get. And you don't get that excitement in as much through virtual. You can be excited. It's just not the same. It's just really not the same. You don't get that positive energy. So if I'm not getting it, the client's probably not feeling it as much either. And I want to boost people up and get them excited and make them feel better. And yes, availability, but it's really missing, I think, a lot of important pieces.
100% agree.
Can I actually,
Yes.
I have kind of opposite thing to say. I do agree it has been challenging, and I am really excited to like network again and get out to events and meet people and like talk face to face. However, I will say I am a mom of 2 young kids, and the schools were closed, so I was home with them, and it was, you know, balancing being a mother and still being an entrepreneur was tough. However, I found doing things virtually almost made me have more of a personal relationship with my lenders and other people in business. For example, like Tina gave me her personal cell number and was like, text me anytime if you're struggling. And we emailed back and forth about how we were going crazy at home with our kids. And it was much less talk about business and more personal talk, just checking in on each other and connecting that way, which I found was really, really great. And it was something that I needed in those hard times, was just knowing that I wasn't the only one losing my mind in a lack of better way to say that. But yeah, that was one positive that I definitely felt, was just having more of those personal connections with the business people and lenders, and being more human about it. Like I just last month had to go to CBDC again for that another little tiny edition that I keep doing so frequently. And their offices were closed. And like one person there can only meet me at certain times because she had kids and I had kids. And so I couldn't go very frequent either. And it was just, realizing that I'm human and I'm a woman and I'm trying to do this with kids, and she was the same. And we just had to kind of connect, I think, through Facebook and figure out a time that worked for us. And I was really appreciative of that. And I think it just made me realize that we're all like in this together, and we're all kind of in the same boat and struggling together. So yeah, doing things virtually through the pandemic definitely made things more personable, in my opinion.
Now, if I'm able to do this, and Lisa, if you need to cut me off, that's okay. I know we're over time.
We have a few minutes.
For
and we still have-
curiosity's sake, because the conversation is so interesting to me, what I am wondering is, I've noticed that women entrepreneurs through this pandemic, with young children at home, have tended to be, and I'm not saying always, but have tended to be, I guess, the primary caretaker with the circumstance, with the kids being home from school or from daycare and whatever. So I find that we've been able to build those relationships with other women entrepreneurs or other women professionals, for example, like with you and Tina, where we're able to feel comfortable and confident saying, you know, I'm not able to meet at that time because that's when my child needs to eat lunch, or that's when this has to happen, or whatever. And we've been okay with that because of the pandemic. But what I have been doing differently, and I guess I can urge you to either A, if you're not already doing it, maybe do it, is that I've also been shifting, because our focus here is on women entrepreneurs and what's different with them. I've been focusing on having those same conversations about circumstances where I can't do something or have a call or meet a deadline because of my circumstance with being a mom, with all entrepreneurs. So I've moved out of my comfort zone of being completely comfortable having that conversation with women entrepreneurs, women professionals, et cetera, other mothers who are trying to balance. And I've now started doing it with my male clients, my male colleagues, my whoever. I can't do that because, you know what, my son is home today because he's not well, or I'm sorry, I've got my kids home sick today, so I'm not going to be able to meet with you, but I'll be able to work on your project, and tomorrow we can meet, or we can have that phone call. But just so you know, I am going to have my 5-year-old here, so he may or may not be, you know, and just trying to be more human with everybody about the fact that this is a real circumstance that majority of the time, and Wes, I feel bad because you're the only male on this call, but majority of the time, and I mean, I've got a great partner. My husband's a great guy. He's a great dad, and he's helpful. Majority of the time, the women are doing a lot more of the mental load of life. And so this pandemic has created an even more substantial circumstance for that. And I think it's on us as professionals, as men in the profession, as women in the profession, to start being more aware of that, making the human side of this and this whole, I can be an entrepreneur and I can be a professional or whatever, and I can be a parent at the same time, but making that more of a conversation of understanding across the board, not just between women professionals and entrepreneurs.
I certainly agree that it's forced it, because shutdown number 1 in PEI, mine was 5. He would run around nude, and I would have to say, and it was what it was. I mean, you know, this isn't even client meetings, to be with, you know, funding partners. And I would just, at first you tried to hide it, and then after you're just tired, and I'd say, my son's home, he may streak by, and they're like, fine. So it forced the conversation to the forefront. And now I am perfectly comfortable with saying, I need to go do this today. I need to do this. And men who may not have been in that space, I find, are very responsive to it now, because whether it's their employees or whether it's their clients, they say, oh, we get it. And I hope that lasts.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Seriously, it's difficult for me to work from home. Like now I'm home because yesterday I worked so late from the office. It's challenging because my son, when he knows I am home, oh my God, I can't do anything. Like, it's like, you know, like right now it's because my husband is there. It's like holding him, like, because, you know, I won't be doing anything. He will be jumping, knocking the door, like so excited to see me in the house. I'm like, yeah, for me, it's very difficult for me to work from home.
With the child, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It really is. I was going to go nuts this January
Yeah.
when the school shut down.
And I'm the guy who watches the girls. I have 3 young girls because my wife's a spec ed teacher, so she has to go to school.
Yes, has to know.
So yeah, I work from home, so it's not so bad, but
I
it is
have
a lot.
Yeah, I have seen men, and I think that's a good, not that it's good for you, but it was very good in that seeing men. I remember one partner had 4 kids, and I was like, I had 1. So it really opened everybody's eyes to, you know what,
Absolutely.
we're actually already facing this. The difference was maybe we didn't want to say, I need this time to go do this. And now the reality is it has to be done. So you say, okay, and it's opened up that space. And I would really like to see that last, because that's so crucial to our workforce and our mental health, is recognizing whether you're male or female, but it does often still fall on the female for a lot of reasons, to have that space to say comfortably, this is what I need to do. And people say, we get it. That's important.
So just one thing, if you could recommend for lenders to foster good relationships with their women entrepreneurs, what would it be?
I can go.
Okay.
I think what I really enjoyed was whenever I did find those good working relationships with lenders, it was the lenders who were excited and who believed in my idea. And that made a huge difference because I was just this young woman with a little idea in rural Summerside, and not a lot of people believed that it would succeed. But when I did find that relationship with a good working lender, they were so excited with me, and they believed in me, and they saw the confidence that I had, and they saw the drive that I had. And for them, that seemed like it was enough, and they were going to help me with that. And like it was talked about, they also provided me with the tools. So not only financial, not only did they give me the money, but they gave me all these connections to people in the area that to network with and to get my name out. And I really do feel like that's what honestly got my foot off the ground, especially in the beginning, was having those tools, knowing who to go to and who to call and what events to go to get my name out there. And that was what the lenders did for me. So if there's other lenders, that's one tip I would give them, is just being excited with the entrepreneur and believing in them and providing them with as many tools as possible outside of just money to help them succeed in what they believe they can succeed in.
Okay.
Yes, I'm joining her because she said something very important, like we need to, lenders need to believe in us. And yeah, that's what we need. Like if the lender believe in us, that will be more easy for us to find what we need. So yeah.
I would say that my top tip would just be when working with women entrepreneurs. Again, similar to working with all entrepreneurs, is meeting somebody where they are. So understanding where they are with understanding their business, with understanding business finance, with understanding their risk appetite, and helping them to make a confident, comfortable decision in what their needs are.
So I will touch on that if that's okay. So building on everything, I think the key for me is compassionate listening. So listen to where they are. Don't make assumptions. And that definitely for women, but for anybody, don't make assumptions. Don't assume they don't know X, Y, Z. So compassionate listening to their idea. And for us, we have to ask certain questions to understand their story and get to know them. And that's what it's all about for us, the character piece. But it's the compassionate listening to meet them where they are, and then create the pathways for them to succeed. But it starts with the compassionate listening, and no judgment, no bias. No, this is, just listen and hear what their passion is.
And Wes, what would be your top tip?
Yeah, same, very similar to that of Tina's. Just be engaged. You need to listen, and you need to ask the questions and be prepared. As a lender, come to the meeting prepared, do some research ahead of time, and it'll formulate the questions that you need so that the entrepreneur can give the proper answers, so you know where they're going, you know where they want to go, and you know what their goals are.
As we wrap up this event, we would like to thank the panelists and everyone who took the time to watch the conversation. We look forward to the next discussion of Leading Lenders panel discussion series. We would like to remind everybody that Leading Lenders provides free online toolkit, a blog, and other dynamic content for employees of leading institutions who support women entrepreneurs towards success. If you wish to learn more about today's topic, we invite you to visit our website and check out our tool number 4. We also invite you to sign up for our free email newsletter and to follow us on social media. We're active on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. And on behalf of Leading Lenders team, I wish you all a great day, and I hope you will be here to watch our next panel discussion.